This video I'm doing before I start doing videos on the restoration project. I wanted to talk about the history of this car. As you can tell by looking at it, it's very old. But when we purchased it, we didn't know how old. All we did know is that it had this ATSF 190356. That's the Santa Fe Railway. When I did some research on it, I couldn't really find much information on it. I do know that the numbers that start with 190 are usually for the maintenance department, so that fits. Inside you can totally tell it was a maintenance car. Everything's labeled for brake parts and bearing seals and stuff like that. Yeah, so the ATSF 190356 was the only markings we saw on it, and I purchased it from the Fillmore and Western Railway out in Ventura County, California. They were just using it as storage. And they said several decades ago, someone just pulled it out of the scrapyard, and that's probably why they had no information on the history and all that stuff. Yeah, so the pandemic pretty much forced the Fillmore and Western to get rid of a bunch of stuff, and I was lucky enough to purchase this on eBay. So I purchased it, had it trucked out here, and now I'm working on getting the rust off of it. We got the roof done. It's got a metal roof on it now. And then when I was working on the rest, I came across these numbers up here in the frame, and they were really hard to see, and I wasn't quite sure what it said. At first I thought it was a PEE, but then after a little bit of more grinding on it, I was pretty sure it was a PFE. And then also I saw the numbers over here, and then I noticed this last digit of the number disappears behind this big piece of steel here. So I was pretty sure that this number is original to when this, at least the frame was first built. As you can tell, this is just securely fastened on there. So this was a major rebuild at some time. So I looked up the PFE, and I'm pretty sure this stands for Pacific Fruit Express, and according to the number 15310, that might be a 16. I can't really see it behind the metal. It would have been a 1918 refrigerated car built by the American Car and Foundry Company. I think they said it was outside of Chicago, Illinois, and so I looked for pictures of those. They looked very different than this thing. They didn't have the steel framing on it, and the wood sheathing is different. Plus there was a just one boxcar door in the center, and there wasn't these doors or the thing on the other end. There also wasn't these boxes built in the bottom. So this was all done afterwards. Don't know if that was from the Santa Fe or if that was something that the Pacific Fruit Express did, and I really don't know how long it was a reefer car, or how many miles, you know, where it worked, any of that stuff I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this is a Pacific Fruit Express reefer car frame. It was classified as a R30 Series 11-9. The -9 meant that it was rebuilt in 1938, I think it said, rebuilt in 1938, and they reclassified them to the 9s. And I'm just assuming this one went through that as well, because most of the cars from the post-1917, most of them got the rebuild. So I'm just assuming that this one did as well. My guess is that this worked until the 50s as a reefer car, and then got sold to the Santa Fe, and they redid the wooden box and built this heavy-duty steel frame. If we look closer at the frame, you can see that it's kind of a Frankenstein thing over here. You can see the rough cuts on the steel, and just different types. There's angle irons here, and then there's a big C channel here. that says Lackawanna on it. I'm assuming that's the foundry where this steel came from. Yeah, but you can totally see the cutting and all that they did. It was heavy duty, but it wasn't exactly fancy. I don't know the right word to say that. So that's pretty much the history on this car that we know. I got it from the Fillmore and Western. They were using it as storage. I believe they got it from the Santa Fe, who were using it as a maintenance of way car, who got it from the Pacific Fruit Express, which was a co-ownership between Union Pacific and the Southern Pacific, and it was built probably 1917 to 1918 at the American Car and Foundry. And now it belongs to me, and hopefully I don't ruin it. Okay, that's it for this video.